Welcome back, Sebastian here. So today I'm going to be doing my preview for the 2024 Formula One Saudi Arabian Grand Prix, which of course is happening this weekend. So first taking a look at the schedule for this weekend, of course, this weekend will be similar to last weekend in that the Grand Prix will be on Saturday, not Sunday. So don't turn on your telly Sunday afternoon and be surprised when the Grand Prix isn't on. But anyway, Thursday, Formula 2 free practice, 12:55 local time. FP1 for Formula 1, 16:30 local time. Qualifying 6 p.m. and then FP2 for that's qualifying for F2, and then FP2 for Formula 1 is 8 p.m. local time. Moving on to Friday, we have FP3 for F1 at 4:30 in the afternoon. The Formula 2 sprint race is at 6:10 in the evening, and then qualifying is at 8 o'clock at night. And then Saturday, only two events: feature race for Formula 2, 4:25 local time, and then the Grand Prix at 8 p.m. local time. Now, of course, Formula 1 Academy is also making their season debut this weekend. I won't be watching. I don't even know if I can watch. But yeah, that's also something to keep in mind. Now, of course, for the track we'll be racing on is the Jeddah Corniche circuit. We've been racing on it since 2021, 6.174 kilometers. 27 corners. I think has the distinction as the fastest street circuit, as well as the one with the most corners. We'll be doing 50 laps, and the lap record is held as a 1:37.34, which was set by Lewis Hamilton in 2021, which I don't think is going to get broken. That was last year of the previous regulations. I still think we're a bit off of that pace. The tires for this weekend are the hard C2, medium C3, and the soft C4. So a step softer than last weekend in Bahrain. It'll be interesting to see how the tires fare. No one used the C2, what was the medium tire in Bahrain during the race. So it'll be interesting to see how that tire fares in Saudi Arabia. It's a very high-speed track, lots of high-speed corners. But it's also quite a smooth track, so very, very different from Bahrain, which is super abrasive. So tire wear won't be as much of a problem, and given that that is one of Red Bull's biggest strengths compared to the other front runners, I would expect the field to be a bit closer in the race. I don't think it'll have as much of an impact on qualifying. Qualifying, I think, will be very, very close like it was last weekend, but in the race, I do expect the Grand Prix to be a bit closer overall. And because of the fact that it's a street circuit and there's walls everywhere, you have a very high risk of safety cars. So even in just the 3 years that we've had the race, we've had quite a few nasty crashes in both F1 and in Formula 2. So that's definitely something to keep an eye out for. Now, for 2023, last year's race was won by Sergio Perez, his first of 2 victories last year. Verstappen second, one of only 3 races he didn't win last year. And Fernando Alonso finished third, but he was basically taken off the podium before being reinstated. And that was, of course, for a penalty that he was given, and then it was then kind of reprimanded, or basically it was rescinded. And that's something that's been in the news recently with the president of the FIA apparently being investigated for meddling with that. So that's something. Max Verstappen had a pretty solid comeback drive, starting 15th on the grid, and of course going on to finish second in that Grand Prix. Now, before I do finish up with my predictions for this weekend, I just want to go over the best drivers and worst drivers in qualifying based on at this track. So of course we only have 3 years, so not a whole lot of data to go off of, but the 3 best drivers in qualifying are Russell, Leclerc, and Ocon. All 3 of them having a 100% record of qualifying their opponent. For Russell, 5.7 tenths of a second, Leclerc 3.4 tenths of a second, and Ocon 2.3 tenths of a second. Worst 3 drivers, of course, Leclerc's teammate all 3 years has been Sainz, so of course for Sainz, unfortunately, he's at 0% yet to out-qualify Leclerc at this track. So of course, the opposite margin, 3.4 tenths. And then second is actually Lewis Hamilton, which is a bit surprised me a bit, but for him, he's been out-qualified by Russell both years. So yeah, 3 tenths of a second there for Hamilton, and for Perez also 33%, and out-qualified by 2.3 tenths of a second. So finishing off with some predictions for this weekend, I'm going to start with a very easy one, and that will be a Max Verstappen win. I don't really have any reason to say otherwise. The Red Bull look basically dominant in the races. Qualifying, I think, will be very close, and this is a track where track position is more important than Bahrain. Hence, Verstappen only getting up to P2 and not winning the race. But that being said, I don't expect him to have a mechanical issue and start 15th again this year. So I do think it's pretty safe to predict a Verstappen win. Second and third, I think, will be a bit of a challenge. Again, very different track from Bahrain. A lot more high-speed corners, a lot less slow-speed corners that like we see in Bahrain. McLaren seemed quite optimistic about their pace, though, so they seem to think that they'll be in the fight for a podium. I think, let's see, I think I'll go with Leclerc second. We know he's a good qualifier at this track, and I think assuming he doesn't have another 10-place grid penalty like he did last year, I think he should be in good shape for this year's Grand Prix. Of course, also assuming they fixed the brake issues that he had in Bahrain. And third, I'm actually going to go with Lando Norris. I think they're going to show up with, I think they're going to surprise some people with their performance in the high-speed corners. And yeah, I think it'll be a much better track for them, a track that suits their car but much better than Bahrain. So that's all for my predictions. Verstappen win, and then Leclerc and Norris rounding out the podium. So that's all for my preview of this weekend Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. Pretty excited for the weekend. Again, it'll be a bit of a tough weekend again for me being in the middle of the night, but I'll do my best. Thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.